Well, this is Pete. Welcome back to Handicap Outdoors. Today we're doing another build video on the boat. Today we're going to work on the floorboard. So today, let me get this in the shot here. Today I'm going to be putting in a plywood floorboard so that it sits on top of these raised up ribs. I'm not talking about the flat ribs here. I'm talking about the raised up ribs. Okay. Now, I did some measurements pre-video just to make this easy, and wrote them down here. So, see if you can read that. The ribs to make it lay flat is 32 inches, and that is all the ribs except for this very front one. So 32 will sit on top of all the other ribs in the back, and that's what I'm going to be basing all my measurements off of. In the back, there's also the, well, here, I'll just flip around and show you. In the back, I still have my battery and stuff in here. In the back, we still have this transom piece, which is, you know, riveted to the floor, how it was made back then. But that sticks out 8 inches, and it is itself about 1/2 inch wide, but the base of it is about 2 inches wide. And I wanted to make sure I could make up for the base of it, so I'm going to be cutting a notch in the back of the floorboard so it fits tightly over that and goes all the way back to the transom itself. So 8 inches in the center, going all the way back. I'm going to cut out a notch. And for this up here, the very front one, after I get the board laid out, I'm going to find out how deep from the front it is. And then I'm just going to cut out a couple notches so this rests on it nice and it won't be raised up in the front or whatever. And what I'm working on here is an 8x4 piece of 1/2 inch plywood. I picked this up before the wood shortage here in 2021. This is concrete grade treated. So it's one of the mid-grade treated plywood. It was, I think, $35-45 a piece. And I have 2 pieces. One is going to be used for the bow deck, which we'll do in another video. And the other is going to be used for the floorboard. And the spare chunks are going to be used for building boxes and whatnot in the back. I also have a couple wood projects that need to get done around the house. But I'm using a couple plastic sawhorses my stepdad's letting me use. And I have the board here, and I'm going to be using the same saw I was using on the trailer video, which is sitting over there yet. I still haven't pulled it out. Still need to run the extension cord. It should run all the way up here. Knock on wood. You know. Anyway. I have no idea how much this piece of plywood would cost now, but I'm pretty sure, since it's about ×4 what it used to be right now at the cost of this video, it's probably about $80 piece of plywood I'm cutting up. So, yeah, I should probably not screw this up. I was waiting for some help on this, but the help never has time. And so I have to do everything myself, as usual. But, you know, that's how it is. And I'm not complaining or anything, because I do need to get out and get stuff done. But you can't always be reliant on others. And that's one of the big things that put me off when everything happened to me, was having to be dependent on others for some things. And yeah, it is a major, major thing that can cause depression and everything else. But you have to do what you can. You have to find workarounds. If you need any helpful hints or whatnot to find workarounds for problems that you have, I mean, there are helpful tools out there. And some of them are just household items that just need to be repurposed. But as for something like this, extra help is definitely necessary for the heavy lifting. But, I'm gonna just try it, see how it goes, and if I get hurt, well, that's on me. Because I'm posing the risk onto myself. And that's how it goes. With everything that you do in life, there is risk. And I'm taking that risk upon myself, knowing full well that I can get hurt. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the floorboard for this. The bow deck is going to be 2 pieces of curved plywood, meeting in the middle. But that I'm going to need help with to keep everything steady, because it has to line up with the curvature of this bow. If you have a square deck in the front, you don't really need help like that. But with this boat being, so pointy in the front, and there's such a curvature here, I need to get that very precise, and I do need help with that. Help to make sure the wood don't bend, help to make sure the tool is cutting straight, and everything like that. But for the floorboard, yeah, I can deviate a little bit. It's not gonna ruin everything, I don't think. But, yeah, I'm gonna get the cutting, and after I get it cut, I'm gonna try and see if I can get it in the boat without, tearing things down that I don't have tools to tear down right now, because my car's in the shop and all my tools are in the car. And it's gonna be about $1,000 to fix it, because, front ball joints and front brakes and everything else. And apparently I was warned that one more pothole and I could have lost one of my front tires. All of it. Because the ball joint was that ready to pop. So. And my dad went in and took a picture, and yeah, that was about how bad it was. And all this started with, I heard some noise in the front and I wanted to make sure it wasn't bad. So, yeah, you kind of want to have noises in your car checked out, because you never know when something's going to leave you stranded or cause a severe accident on the highway. And in Wisconsin, the roads suck. Some states, some cities, some counties are terrible. Not just Wisconsin, but all across the U.S. I do hope they get a proper infrastructure bill passed, and I do hope that infrastructure is roads and bridges, primary. None of this other crap. None of this, left-wing wish list bullshit. Okay, no politics. Back to boating. See you in a minute. Alrighty then, folks. So we're back. I have measured out the 32 inches from that edge to make everything closer to me, because I didn't want to run out of extension cord. So I measured 32 inches. I made a bunch of these little dashes on either side of the tape, running all the way down the board. And then I took the tape the long way, set it down on the edge, and lined up all the little marks, and I drew a line. Now I have something I can follow. Normally I'd use a piece of string, tack it on both ends, and then make sure the string is lined up across the entire length, and then draw a line through that. That would make the best line, especially on a flat surface. But because this is all I have at the moment, it's all I have. So, the old adage is measure twice, cut once. My blue line is at 32 inches here. Move all the way down here. Hook on that side. It's 32 inches here as well. So, there's that. Now, when cutting on sawhorses, you have to make sure that you're not going to cut into the sawhorses. And, yeah, you can go by looking. You can also go by feel. Look at the line, and then push your arm underneath, and push the board towards you, and I lost my train of thought. You push the sawhorse away from you. So, that's the other way. Now, the best way to do it is to use a tape measure. So I look at the top there. Pull this out a little more. I look at the top of my sawhorse, and I tuck that right in there. There we go. And then I look here. I have 17 inches from my board to the top of the sawhorse. Now I look up on top here, and I put that on the blue line, and I look over here. I have about 16 inches from my blue line to the end of my board, which means there should be about 1 inch between my blue line and the top of the sawhorse if you do the math. I did the same over on the other sawhorse. Also measure twice, cut once, that way you don't do anything. And if you happen to bump the board before you start cutting or while you're cutting, make sure that it's still positioned right, just so you don't cut into your sawhorse. And especially since these are borrowed sawhorses, and these are made of plastic. I don't want to cut into my dad's plastic sawhorses. They're borrowed in plastic, and I can't afford to replace them. So, and he has these in his business van, and, he uses them for tables. Kind of like what I'm doing with the piece of board, and you get the point. But, well, I've got my saw here. It's a very old saw. It's heavy duty. It's, what's the year on this thing? I don't know. Doesn't have it on the label. 4 amp, 50 to 60 hertz, 120 volt AC, 1 inch stroke, double insulated, made in the USA. Oh, so it's at least 50 years old. That's just a wild guess. Because when was the last time things were made in the USA? Yeah, it's nice. It has one of these little adjusters on it, so you can adjust the angle up to 45 degrees, looks like. But today, I'm just using this to cut a board. Well, I'm going to get cutting, and then bring it back for the notching. Next part. Alright, I did skip a little bit of the boring part. I moved everything around. Um, got the extra piece of board sitting over there. It's actually a pretty sizable chunk, a lot more than I thought I'd have. But that's good. I'll have plenty of leftover. So, yeah, expect more build stuff in the future. So, yay, more projects. Now just, pay for more materials. Yeah, lacking funds sucks. FUNDS, not FUN. Yeah, being broke sucks. But, back to the fun, right? So, I turn the table. Fun puns. Turn the table sideways to get it out the sun. I'm still far enough forward that I'm getting a nice cross breeze. It's a little warm today, but there's no humidity, which is great. We have a nice gentle breeze flowing through here. I'm sweating a little bit, but, it's nice. It's a nice, peaceful 80-degree day with a nice breeze. But I got this sitting here. I'm on a stool my dad got at Walmart, $15. It's a bar stool looking thing. It's foldable. He got it for his business. Again, me and him do a flea market business. He got it for me as a cashier's seat because he thought that it would be easier for me to get up and out of, which it is. It's not so comfortable, being a stool that's barely 10 inches across and the padding is non-existent. But height-wise, it's good. And it works with a table that is roughly the same height as the stool for cashiering and stuff. So, not terrible. I have to bend over a little bit. Might end up putting a couple bricks under the table that he got for it. But anyway, off topic. Never mind. I'm sorry, I tend to ramble. I'm so lonely. Anyway, so I already measured out the part that I have to cut out, the notch. I remeasured. It was actually 7 inches, not 8. 8 is on the upper part, the part that goes up the boat, not down the front of the boat. This is the floor, and 8 inches goes up the back. Transom. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I might be able to do another transom board out of that. And it's about the right height. Awesome! I have a new transom board. And it's the right stuff! Sorry, off topic again. I can actually do one that fits now. I will have to end up sealing this with something because it is dry and cracking. But then again, it should be alright for the time being. Anyway, I took a corner that was still straight, not one that I cut. But I measured from this outer corner, flat edge, to the edge that I cut. It was 32 inches. Dead center, 16. And then 2 inches, so 1 inch on either side of the 16 would be the 17 and the 15 mark. I went a little bit on either side. This is a little crooked. But I went about, 1/16 of an inch on either side when I marked it. Just so I wouldn't have a super snug fit and have to sand it down or something like that. It'll fit over it, not a problem. Now, as far as length goes, I also went a hair over on the 7. Again, so I wouldn't have that problem. And I'd have this butting up against the transom. That way, with a new transom board and everything lined up properly in the back, I could put some proper angle brackets on there, and with the deck bolted on it, and the 2x2s I have back in their corner are going to be going along the sides, making shelves along the sides. It'll really make this thing rigid, and it'll really sure up the transom as well. But as long as this butts up against the transom, and I can put L brackets on here, that will make the transom nice and solid, is basically what I'm trying to say here. Damn, I'm long-winded. But I marked out with an X because this stuff is going to be going. Just as a reminder when I'm cutting that any deviation in here, I don't have to worry about. This is junk wood. Anything that I can save, yeah, maybe I can use it as a shim or something, but this, for all intents and purposes, is trash. The corners are going to be tough, but that's why I have a jigsaw. That's why I'm using that saw. And this setup is what I'm going to be using. I have plenty of room underneath. I have more than double the room I need. And I'm going to have my leg out the way. But I'm going to cut this. And some I did not mention in the earlier video. Safety glasses, those are not. Little Yoda speak there. Those are not safety glasses. You should wear safety glasses when cutting wood. I do not have any. Those are what I'm using. I'm taking my eyes, risk of blindness and gore and all the other bad things that can happen upon myself. Wear proper safety equipment when doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm going to cut this out. Then I'm going to see if I can get it in there. I still have to clean the boat out. And then will come the notching part. This is going to be a long video. I do apologize. Well, time to cut. So, done cutting the notch. Cleaned out the boat. Yeah, the battery's heavy. So, yeah. Ran into a bit of a snag, though. It don't want to fit under there. And before you say it will look like it, there's kind of a blockage. That right there. Yeah, the stabilizer under there for the pedestal seat that's supposed to go on here. So I'm gonna have to remove this center bench seat, which I've wanted to do anyway, in order to get it out of here, out of my way, so I can start doing the rest of this. So it's 2 carriage bolts, and then screws with nuts. There's 3 of them. So 2 carriage bolts and 3 screws with nuts on both sides. And then I can pop this sucker out, slide that sucker in, get measurements, pop it out again, cut my notches, pop it in again, and then see what time it is, cut this video short, and then move on to the next video where I will start cutting those pieces so I can start doing my side benches. So, let's get to her. Alright, y'all. So, yeah. I got the outside screws out. There's a center screw I can't get out because of this thing. And I can't get this thing out the way until I get these 2 out. Got the nuts off. They're right there. Oh, right there and right there. Same on the other side. These things will not come out. They will not budge. I tried that. I tried that. I am not a man of, I'm not known to be patient. So I searched around, and I came up with this. That sumbitch is going. And it is going whether it wants to or not. So, I got him. I got him. And I kind of shook the boat all to hell. But I got him. I got the little bastards. Now I need a break. And I think that's the end of this video. So, remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell if you want to, you know, catch the next one. Next time I'll put that in, I'll cut the notches, I'll start, you know, doing the framing for the side seats. And, you know, just be very careful around power tools, because you might go on a power trip. So, yeah. I'll see you on the next one.